Today I chose the book Creating Magic uh, by Lee Cockrell. Mr. Cockrell writes a book that where he uses 10 common leadership strategies from his life and work at Disney, and also from his life and work at Marriott. Uh, the book for me kind of streamlines um, how leaders can benefit from establishing relationships with their employees. He has some common points that seem sort of common sense in nature, but aren't always utilized amongst leaders in different companies, in different institutions, in different divisions, and in different organizations. The thing that I found most beneficial in the book is that he relates every aspect of those 10 common sense of those 10 concepts back to relationships, and uses 4 components of those of how you establish those relationships by first treating people like you want to be treated, treating individuals with respect, as if they were your own family members, and respecting their contributions back to the organization. But you also provide them with opportunities to learn. In my years of experience in public education, I would break that down and say that you lead by incorporating everyone, and you lead through a collaborative lens. Everyone is valued. Everyone has a say. Everyone accepts responsibility, and you hold each other accountable as you create situations, what we would call valuable staff development. Not only that it is valuable in a sense that you get some excitement generated out of it, because oftentimes you get that excitement generated, and then when you get back to implement it, those things aren't done because you just hadn't, or the thrill of it is gone. So you develop staff development that is applicable, and so each part or each of the 10 concepts that Mr. Cockrell illustrates in his book are all applicable. As you look and read through the book, I would say that he speaks in concepts of how they built Disney resorts, and each one of those concepts are utilized regardless of which resort you go to, and you just treat the customers uh, well. You go way beyond the expectations, and you grow and you groom that and you model that as a leader. He talks in great detail on how the leader has to model those expectations, all the while you showing and you have a vision of what the organization should look like, how each individual should be treated, but you model that in every aspect, whether you're dealing with having to make those difficult decisions, which you often do in a leadership position where you have to reprimand or dismiss individuals. It's all done in manners of respect, and it's all done as if they are still family, but you putting the organization and the vision of the organization first. And so as leaders, you have to understand that, and he outlines how you go about doing that in those 10 common points of view. Um, And a lot of that, I would say, probably in chapter 3 of the book, where he talks about breaking the mold. I think you have to break the mold that is commonly used in leadership sometimes, and you have to think out of the box, and you have to be innovative um, in how you develop staff development. You have to be innovative in providing new ideas to the organization. You have to be a lifelong learner, and you have to learn from the individuals that you're in charge of. Um, you have to be constantly on edge for what's new and what's going to benefit the company, the organization, uh, or the institution. And as you do that, those things become contagious uh, because everyone knows and respect the fact that your work ethic and how you treat individuals. And as you model that, you talk to the individuals about that. And you take time to talk to them about, not necessarily in a formal setting, but even in visiting with them as you get to know them, you ask them ideas on how do they model success, or how do they model excellence, and what that means to them. And as the company grows, you discuss that, and you accept what their definition of that may be, and shape and mold that so it all fits into your vision. It all fits into the company's vision, and it yields positive results for each stakeholder within the organization. I think as you look and read through the book uh, with Mr. Carkle, he relates it back to some of his personal experience and some of his personal failures. I enjoyed the fact that he talks about um, celebrating different successes within the group, but also holding people accountable for their shortcomings, and even asking individuals on how he can improve his shortcomings, and how he can strengthen things that he does really well. And I think as leaders, that's always a nuance, and you have to be able to take that constructive criticism, but at the same time, you have to do a self evaluation of yourself. I go back to some pieces of the book where he talked about, and even in the video that we were assigned for class, where he discusses that every day you go back and you try to work on uh, as you go back to work, you try to work on the mistakes you made the day before. Uh, so you constantly analyzing, and you constantly trying to see how you could be better. You constantly molding and shaping your craft. The book talks about molding and shaping your brand. And so as you do those things, you mold and shape those employees that you hire. You mold and shape those individuals regardless of what their responsibilities in the organization. And you respect their contributions. If you go to them for their contribution, you make that a part of the organization, and you discuss those things publicly and acknowledge where those ideas came from, and how you plan to utilize them, and ask other individuals their feelings and thoughts on things that you're going to implement. And so as you talk about leadership, particularly in this book, I truly believe the main component, as he talk about creating magic, the magic is not necessarily the production that happens. It's the relationships that he discusses on how you build those relationships within the organization, and how you not only establish those, how you nurture them, and how you retain those relationships. Like I said, regardless of who the individual is or what their responsibilities are within the company. Um, I would recommend this book as for those individuals that are stepping into leadership possibilities now, and for those individuals that have been in leadership for 20, 30, 40 plus years.